Mallory. Thanks for coming. Here I am sitting in my little egg chair that we put up every summer, right?
Yeah.
So come on in. It's my front porch that we put together. And we pretty much leave it the same way every year. We fill it with coleuses, and I have my little Buddha garden over there. And it's just lovely out here. You can listen to the birds, and it's been great, really wonderful. So come on in. I wanted a gray look on the house, and I wanted yellow because it's such an inviting, warm color. So come on in, Sahal. Here's my map of all the places in the world where I've been, and some of which that Bill has been. So here's the closet that used to be the downstairs to the basement apartment, but I had it closed off because I lived here alone and I didn't want to have any access into the house. So later I'll show you how we can access the apartment now, and it serves its purpose beautifully because this was the original closet over here. And you can see, I don't think it would have worked because there's so much stuff. I got this in the mirror at Z Gallery, and it just fit in here perfectly. And this came from my father-in-law when he visited the South Pacific area. I wanted you to take a picture of this. Picture is one that when I was 25 years of sobriety, Bill took 25 of my dear friends on a cruise to the Turks and Caicos for 5 days, and we had a great time. It was a really wonderful time. This is the downstairs full guest bathroom. In here, it's all done in marble, and I use silk wallpaper from the Candace Olson collection, and I continued it on around. We added these lentils when I went to the Four Seasons and saw that at their hotel. After that, my contractor said that I wasn't allowed to go to any more five-star restaurants or hotels because I would come back and always change something. So it's a lovely, lovely bathroom. We added a window, and it also has a um, handicap access into this downstairs room, which was one of the reasons why I bought the house, was because it did have a downstairs bedroom. And you can use this as an office. I chose to use it as a room that served for my housekeeper when she came and helped me. And then I had some elderly guests stay here, and they had access to the bathroom. I was hoping you could maybe get a picture of video of all these wonderful pictures that Bill has here in his collection, if you could. He These are pictures of him and his mother, his father, he and I going on our trips together. This was a one that he had done by a local artist in Asheville of the sailboat that we used to live on. That's his dad. Mallory is videoing. I didn't do a ceiling fan in here. I chose to do this gorgeous light. And I had my designer, my curtain lady from Palm Beach County, come up here and help me with everything. The original bedspread fits a queen size bed, which Mallory and I put in the boys' closet upstairs along with everything else. And this mirror over here actually has a 27-inch TV inside of it. That was really high-tech technology back in 2012, 2013 when we had it installed. So there are 3 TVs here that were mirror TVs that I had installed. Bill said, "Do you really need so many?" And I was, absolutely. So anyway, it's a beautiful room, and I'm so grateful that I had it. If I were staying here, I originally was going to make this into my closet, and I'll show you the next room, which is, that was going to be my closet. And then here I had these barn doors installed. They're so wonderful. And this is what I call the media room, because I had the TV installed in here. And this would be my bedroom, but we will see. So I had my contractor had a friend who was a local artist. I wanted to do something with what's called zebra wood. And that's what this is made out of, zebra wood and walnut. And so he did this according to the TV, the Sony TV that I had at the time, that, knock wood, doesn't seem to want to say goodbye. So we're happy to have it. And then in here, I decided to house my treasures from our trips. So if you wanted to kind of get a view of all of that, these are from Oman and Hungary. Up here is from Fiji. Over on this side is China. That's actually a silk photograph made out of embroidered silk up there. And the dishes, the pottery I got from Sedona, which I absolutely love. I'm not going to tell you where I found these 2 Xi'an warriors, because I did go to Xi'an where all the warriors were buried for that first emperor. It was a phenomenal place, but I found them. But when I leave the house, they will stay, just like they did in the underground for him. Over here is a didgeridoo that was made for us by a local Aborigine in Australia. And it depicts our trip, our first trip there. All journeys begin with a circle. And we continued down, and we were on a cruise ship, and then we went to Kangaroo Island, and then down here is the Sydney Opera House, and then down here is the beautiful, beautiful Daintree Forest, and down here is the Great Barrier Reef, where I went scuba diving. Over here is what's called a money dragon. It is solid jade. It weighs almost 20 pounds. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. I couldn't resist it. I bought it when I was there. And this other pottery, believe it or not, comes from England. Bath had the kind of soil that allowed it to make beautiful glassware. And of course, that's where the Romans had the famous bath. Murano, Italy, they made that for me, and they put my name on it and shipped it to me. And then these, of course, are Russian dolls. There's 15 of them, and I got them in St. Petersburg, Florida. Aren't they adorable? We've lost, over the years, we've lost that little teeny tiny one in the shag carpet here, but for some reason or another, we've always been able to find it. So over here, these are puppets that were made in Prague. And this is Pinocchio, and I forget who that is. And that's a clock that I got in Berlin. These are dancers from Cambodia over here. And my contractors inset it into the wall and put lights around it that change. They did a beautiful job. Do you want me to turn the lights off? I had these put in to be able to, I think they're 70/30, so you're able to see out, but they then deflect the light. Fortunately for me, I wanted draperies, but my interior lady didn't want to do it, so it's what we have. And then we did awnings outside. Bill and I did extensive travel in Africa. We've, our first trip was from Dubai to Cape Town. So we went through India, the Seychelles, the Maldives. We went down to Madagascar, but we weren't allowed to disembark because there was actually a case of the Black Plague there at the time. So, but then we continued on. We went to Kenya, Tanzania, and these are all this is actually an actual cannibal fork that was used. And lately, Bill and I went over to Papua New Guinea, and they still practice cannibalism over there. Not for the purposes of eating as much as obtaining the power of your enemy. Whatever. Over here is what really differentiated the house was this banquette. So Bill and I met on a sailboat, and banquettes, of course, are usually found on a sailboat as a way you can not only eat there, but a lot of times you can lower the table and it provides sleeping accommodations as well. So I'll show you the magazine later on that the reporter did. She called it A Shore Thing, SHORE, and this was really something that she accented. And then around here are dishes that Pam and I found that look kind of rustic. The two warriors are actually greeters from Peru and the NASA area. I got them when I went to see Machu Picchu. If you can, I'd like for you to see that dancer over there. It's one of my first pieces of art that I ever got. It was from a local artist in Boca Raton, and it's made from ebony and maple. I just love it though. Over here, I used cork wallpaper from, again, the Candace Olson collection. And it shows, I had my painter actually made this for me to put over here because I was limited because the air handler is down here on the floor. One thing about the house that differentiates it as well is the fact that the design was teak wood floors and bird's eye maple cabinetry and aluminum in the kitchen. So I designed these cabinets in the kitchen. And the wood floor was second generation. I had originally had this teak from Brazil. And when you're using wood floor, it has to stay in the house and cure for a matter of time. We let it in here for 3 months' time because we started building on this in October of 2012. We didn't finish until June of 2014. It took that long because everything was customized. And so the first floor didn't work out, and this floor then was salvaged for us, or actually sourced for us from tree in Burma, and they shipped it over here for me. So it's what's called furniture grade teak. When you drop anything on here, it dents it. Heel marks will stay. I had no idea it was going to be so, so sensitive, but it is definitely shown the wear of our life here over the past 12 years. This table I got in a downtown shop in Asheville, North Carolina. And all the lighting and the fans I got from a lighting designer at Ferguson's. All of the appliances were from an appliance supplier at Ferguson. So I would drive there and meet with them on a weekly basis and determine what I wanted. This is a little bathroom that I had them put in specifically for me because I wanted my own bathroom down here. Once again, I used the cork wallpaper from Candace Olson, and that mirror was my mother's, what she had in her dining room. I used a free edge granite, rustic looking vanity, and then that's called a broken chalice sink is what I used there. And all of my toilets, you may notice, they all have the 2 buttons. So that was the first time the plumber had ever installed something like that. So there were a couple of firsts here for some of the construction people in the area. And that's what I call my bathroom. So over here again, I worked with those people from Ferguson, and I usually use seltzer water, and that's what this is. You just turn it on, and seltzer automatically comes out. It has a machine underneath that's pressurized, but I don't really use it that much. And really, I wish I had put a beverage refrigerator here instead, but we did what we did. You may notice the paint, I used a chopsticks. I tried to use a color gray because gray was so popular at the time, but nothing really worked in this house. So I chose something that's called chopsticks. And honestly, I have used this in several of my friends' houses. When they wanted to repaint, I would always recommend this, and we would paint it in this beautiful little color. It just has a nice hue to it. The architect took down all of these walls. This was originally a kitchen. The kitchen part had the stove here, blocking off the whole view. Everything in the house is brand new. All the doors, all the windows, everything was built in 2012. As they say, from the sticks up. So I decided to continue to use shiplap maple and then accent it with the teak on top. I'll show you around the kitchen, and this of course is the bird's eye maple, and a friend of mine worked at Mountain Marble, and she sourced this absolutely gorgeous granite that if you really want to zone in on a little bit, Mallory, you can see that there's pieces of beautiful mica in here and just gorgeous, like the sky, the sea. It really is, you really feel like it's a part of the earth. You really do feel that. Over here is a big hunk of mica as well, so it's surprising where you find it. I don't like to see appliances, so I had all of my appliances clad. The dishwasher, the waste disposal, everything, and the refrigerator, of course, in the bird's eye maple. So everything was clad in that for me. These chairs were actually from Italy. They are an Italian leather chair that I got. Back then, they didn't have as many stores as they do now, so a lot of things I got from Palm Beach County or I ordered from California. Fortunately, I was able to get a lot of good things shipped. Again, with the lighting, the lady from Ferguson's helped me with that. And I decided to use the granite in the back. I don't like all that different kinds of tile in the back, that type of thing. I wanted something with continuity. They built what are called garages for me in here to hold appliances. And then, of course, I had this specially made for me because when I come in from the garage, I'm only 5'3.5". I wanted something low that I could set my packages on. Now, was made just for me, for my purse. Right behind you, Mallory, you can see the kitchen off of the kitchen. That's what we called it. It originally housed the washer and dryer that's now located in the garage. But because I used the wood floor here, it really wasn't practical. So I just used cabinetry from Lowe's, and I used quartz from a company called Rockstar as the base. And then I used a gorgeous, I think you can see it, it's a copper sink in there. And this kind of houses extra dishes, soft, paper goods, my coffee. It's actually my coffee and my tea spot. And then behind the door where the washer and dryer is now where the security system and electronics for the house. And I used it also, as you can see, if you can get a picture of some of the thank you notes from, some of the ones from my friends. And I wanted to put them someplace. So that turned out to be a good spot. This is my JennAir, and that, because I wasn't able to use a vent. And then all of my appliances are open. And I had 3 of these, one upstairs. And as a matter of fact, my new house in Florida has a huge one on the countertop. I'll be getting rid of that and putting that in. One of the things that I did differently here was I put these grooves in the granite so that it provides a natural drying rack for the dishes. Show you real quick, if you wanted to take a picture of this. 5 fabulous redos, and it is the Carolina Home and Garden magazine. And one day I'm at my dentist office, and I'm waiting, and I look down, I go, oh, okay. And I look through, and I'm like, that looks like my kitchen. And then I look through some more, and let me see if I can find it. That looks like my kitchen. Then I look through again, and I see this article, A Sure Thing. Seagoing couple makes waves in their mountain retreat. Sailors are a special breed. Intrepid, capable, and organized. They set off from the security of dry land toward the vast horizon, confident that they will navigate whatever challenges lie ahead. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to try and remember that. And then here it is. Here's my beautiful kitchen. I remember the architect coming, and I remember the girl coming, but she wanted to feature us, and I said, no, just, feature the house. At the time, unfortunately, they weren't able to take a view of the upstairs, really a lot of pictures of the upstairs, because they hadn't even finished up there yet. But it looks so beautiful in this magazine, doesn't it? Really? So that is that, and then this is my little desk area. Down here is what I call the family room. I don't have a TV here, and I bought, I love mid-century, and I bought all this furniture in California because the fabric that I chose for the banquette I chose because it mimicked to me the look of the mountains. So I decorated around that with the blues and the greens, etc. The carpenter that did all the bookshelves for me did them to my specifications for my books. All of these were made just for my books. So when I put them up there, I said to them, "This is your new home, and I will never move you again." And now I looks as if I may have to renege on that. More treasures from our travels, and a fireplace that looks out onto what we used to call the rocking chair porch. So originally I was going to have a wood fireplace here, but then I saw this and the contractor said, "Well, Mrs. Russell, first of all, I don't really see you with a wood fireplace." He said to me, "There's usually snakes and mice and things like that in the wood. Why don't you consider having a gas? And that way we can do what you want, which is to have it on the outside as well." And so I absolutely appreciated his comment because he was absolutely right. And it's all remote control. I can sit here in my beautiful white chair, if you want to show them that, and look out from there. And I look out onto the beautiful view that I have. And during the winter, of course, I have a great view of the mountains. Just some more treasures. If you could get a picture of this, Mallory, of Uzbekistan. And a picture of the clock above the fireplace would be appreciated. And a good close up of how all this looked and how it all is featured. Go out onto the porch area. These are all 8-foot doors. And normally, Mallory and I would put that big table here with the chairs, but this year we decided to do it a little bit differently and used the original rocking chairs that I bought for the rocking chair porch. And I'll take you around over there. And we sit here more now because of these chairs. And isn't this gorgeous? During the summer, it's just so cool over here. And if you could get a shot of the outside area over there, and ready? So we're going to go upstairs onto the spiral staircase. And I had this put in so that when I got out of my hot tub, I would be able to come up here directly to my bedroom dressing room area without having to walk on the teak floors. Plus, I always wanted one. My little niece said to me once, "Aunt Marty, you live in a princess's house," because I had the spiral staircase. And up here you can see this over here, this gorgeous view of the mountains. I may rectify that. So let's go into the master. After we've come up the spiral staircase, we open up these doors and we come into this gorgeous, gorgeous master that we designed. I chose to use purples and golds in this room. And all of these were made for me by a company in Boca Raton and then brought up here and installed. That wall was built here in Asheville, and all of the furniture was designed by me. I used a what was it called? The Mackenzie Child look here on the little divan. My friend Liz made that portrait for me of Asheville, and all the chairs were done in this beautiful silk. The drapes are silk, and then I have up my own fireplace here, which on the inside is filled with amethyst crystals. It's absolutely gorgeous when it lights up at night. I designed this whole piece of furniture to fit my Wizard of Oz collection. I told Mallory earlier today that I was seriously thinking of letting it go, and there was a rather sad look on her face. But some stuff has to go, right? And my friend Laura, once again from Mountain Marble, helped me pick out this beautiful, beautiful granite. I know they don't use granite that much anymore, but I really loved it. I put my pictures of my experience in Charleston. I used to live behind this house. And an artist friend of mine drew that for me, and she drew this for me for my birthday one year. Lorette made that for me for one of my times. And then over here, again, I designed all this furniture to fit my my love of jewelry, shall we say? And this also is a mirror TV. Isn't that something? So this is some silk behind here, and I designed this. And then I also, with the help of the lighting specialist at Ferguson, I designed these lights for myself. And then one of the really nice features is the way that I placed the bed was so that it was facing out toward the mountains. This is the way that I designed it because it was had a really crazy fireplace. It was really, I don't know if I still have those pictures, but here you can see the view. I spend most of my time here in bed. I have a couple of remote controls. One of them controls the bed. This one controls all the drapes. I have one that controls the skylights, and I have one that controls the fireplace, and of course the TV. So one never has to leave this part of the bed if one desires to stay. Can you get a shot of that? So it's really was done, just for me. I knew what I wanted, and at the time I was able to have it done for me. So it's all electronic. I even had this light switch moved from up here down here for me from my height. So things were done specifically for me. I hope you can get a picture of my angels and my wedding photos and the books that I keep with me. My mom gave me this beautiful Tiffany lamp. And then down here, if you could see it, is a gorgeous, gorgeous amethyst crystal that the girls that went on the cruise gave me. They were so wonderful. What? That's my dog, Emily. She's the one who got us here. She was the one who suggested, we've always liked it in Nashville. Let's go back there. And that's what we did. But she never got to live here with me. But she did get to see the house, so. I have a sliding door here that leads into, of course, my master. All of this was obviously completely redone. These are marble floors that are heated. And this is a jacuzzi tub that actually dries itself. And one day after taking a bath, I was in the morning room and I heard this rumbling noise, and I came in to see the tub vibrating and all the water droplets evaporating. I did a mother of pearl tile wall all the way up to the top, and with the help of the designer at Ferguson's, I designed those Swarovski crystal lights. I hope you can get a shot of these beautiful pictures that my friend Ruth did. She's an artist that lives in Taos, New Mexico. She did some of the artwork that I have in what I call my bathroom downstairs. And then she did these for me as well. All the cabinetry in here was designed by me with the help of a cabinet maker. I chose this kind of fronting up at the front. I made sure that they put a mirror up there, and then I wanted a bowed sink area. And I have to show you these drawers because they they do double duty. You open them here, and then you open them here. I don't like to see toothbrushes out in the open, so I made sure that electrical units were put in each one of the towers so that I could keep my electric toothbrush put away, and also the same with my mirror. So the towers really serve a phenomenal purpose. I really liked having them. And everything else was marble as well. And then in here I have a steam shower. My father lived in Istanbul for a time, and I was able to go there with Bill. And I'm a wet, I prefer the moist heat as opposed to the dry heat. So I have a steam shower. All I have to do is, if you want to show them now, press that button and it's already programmed to the temperature that I prefer. You can sit here and you can see up above all of the tiles. You can go on in if you want. And I designed these tiles and had them all made specifically for me. I think the guy did a beautiful job. He put a little bit of them on the floor over there. Isn't that cute? You might notice that it's all polished nickel. And that I can thank the designer at Ferguson's for. She was a true class act. And at that time, that chrome look was really popular. And it was just sort of not as elegant as this could be. So we opted for this beautiful, beautiful polished nickel. It's a pain in the ass to keep cleaning, but it is gorgeous. And then in here is the water closet. Again with the nice sink and the toilet and Bill's towels, even though he doesn't use this water closet. You might notice that all of my towels have my initials on them, and you can thank the 60s Doris Day movies for that, because she had that in Pillow Talk. She was an interior designer, and she had her initials put on here, and I said, oh, that's something that I wanted to do. Very grateful that I had the opportunity to do some fun things. And then this was the attic. And the architect made this into a closet for me, and they designed these shelving and all the drawers for me in California and had it shipped here. Of course, this is just my summer stuff. The drawers are so exceptional. They are. May I show one? Because what's fabulous about them is that they are 8 inches high, 8 inches high, and they're 22 inches wide, and they're also, I believe, this is 15 inches deep. So that 8 inches is what really makes a difference. You can put a fair amount of clothes in there. I've learned that most of the time they give you the measurements from here to here, but that doesn't really, tell you what you really have to work with. So whoever designed these for me did such a beautiful job. They put mirrors here so that I had room for look at all my purses. They did a crystal light for me in here. All this lighting. One last thing is this closet is a cedar closet for, I had my own mink jacket at the time and also for my mother's mink coat and hat. So I had that made specifically for that. Now, of course, I need the room, so they're shoved in the back, but they're in there. So that was important to me. We come around to what's called the morning room, and a friend of Bill's was a contractor and building a $45 million home in Southampton on Long Island, and this is what the owner called his area. So I scarfed that up, and this is a refrigerator. That's a refrigerator. Over here, I had originally, and I still do have it in the back, is a coffee maker that's hooked up to the water system so that all you have to do is change the coffee grounds. But I never used it. I just preferred to use it as a garage, and I use other things there. I have one of my beloved microwaves and my washer dryer and my Bose speaker with all of my favorite tapes. Very 20th century, but very Marty. I don't like white sinks, so I had a gray sink made to fit in here. And this tile is called Surf. Isn't it beautiful? This green and kind of coral look to it. It's called Surf, and I had picked it out, and then afterwards, somebody that was watching me said, I want what she chose. And all of these cabinets in here hold a lot of my cosmetics. I use this as my linen closet. Didn't really prepare for a linen closet, but it worked out. And all of my cosmetics. I just want to put this for posterity. All this stuff. And I once told Mallory that if I ever die, to please hide all of this stuff, which is actually, I am organized, if anything, right? And I told Mallory, please get rid of all of these because they stopped making them. So whenever I could find them, I buy them because I use them all the time and they don't make them anymore. They make those stupid, plastic scrunchy things. But I told Mallory, if I die, please get rid of all of that so they don't know that I have all of them, but maybe somebody can use them, right?
Yeah.
So that is that. This is, and what's really cool about this space is that you can close it off. And we can close these doors. And we can close this door and walk around. And it really is truly a private suite. And it's almost 1,200 square feet on its own. This is actually a water fountain, but look how skinny it makes you. Look, right? Huh? And then make you look good. Look how skinny. So I'm never getting rid of that mirror. I'm taking it with me. Artwork as we come out of the master artwork that and masks that I collect that we got in Bali, made by local artists. And we happen to have this nice wall to be able to do it. One of the things that I loved about this house that I kept was the 1986 architecture, which generally included skylights and celestial I forget how they pronounce it, but something, celestial windows. I like that design a lot. As you could see with the family room, it was, located down 3 steps. It was sunken. I always liked that kind of a look. I got Linda and I, remember Linda Williams? She and I got that at a art exhibit. And then I designed those tulip lights as well. I know that you and Bill got to replace the light bulbs in them. And here's what I call the boys' bathroom. And I fell in love with this tile. And this was on the only tile that they had left was that and a couple of pieces here. So if you can see it, come on in. And see over here, I used this coordinating tile that you can see, the linear tile that runs through. And I used that in the shower as well. These lights actually were in the bathroom at the Grand Bohemian I want to know that I found them first before they did. Once again, my contractor said, "Don't be going there, Marty." When I built the house, I had little nephews and little nieces. They were very young, so I got a little stool for them, and they used to stand up here and play with the with all the knobs here because they like to watch the water. If you can get a shot of that, Mallory, of the water running down the sink, because it was a very different kind. These were popular back then. You don't see them that much anymore, but I prefer a single standing vanity, bathroom vanity, as opposed to the builder grade ones that are built in. I generally prefer this kind of look. And it provided me with all the storage that I needed for guests, which was really nice. I mean, look at how nice that is. Somebody staying here will have everything that they possibly need. That door actually is an ensuite into the boys' room, and we'll come around and go in there. And this was for the little boys. Let's see, I had three of them, Riley, Avery, and Ethan. So I used two double beds in here, and I used the color red because this actually faces. It does actually face east, but it's a very cold room, so I wanted to use warm colors in here, and that's where the reds came from. And my lady from Palm Beach once again did all this for me. And I found this really cool piece of, isn't this gorgeous? It's like a work of art. I found this at the Grove Arcade, and the little guys would be able to put their towels on here. That was the idea. Now, Mallory and I constantly work on this room, and we call this the outer boys closet and the inner boys closet. And sometimes it's actually nothing in here, but most of the time there's something. And Mallory, if you want to open that door and just gently go in there so that we'll have a recording of what we generally deal with or have dealt with over the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. You might want to, I don't know if you need to turn the light on.
This closet goes deep. If this were my bedroom as a kid, this would be my secret room. There's a little area back there to hang up clothes. We added these plastic little shelves for storing things. But this room is one of the places that fluctuates the most year-round in this entire house because we are constantly changing what is stored in here, how it is stored, what we want to take back out, what we want to put in new. It is one of the places in the house that changes most often from week to week.
I like the way my decorator took the fabric. I had very little of that fabric, of the straight fabric, which I loved, but I had her cover these stools for me, which I absolutely love that look. And I did all wallpaper in here just to make this room feel cozy. My painter actually painted those lights for me because I wanted to bring in that chartreuse kind of look. And all of this furniture I got from Arhaus. I got it from there's one here in Asheville, but I got it at Palm Beach. I don't, I leave here, this stays. I'm not moving it. This is all very, very heavy furniture. And it looks good here. And everybody loves that light. If you can get a picture of that, Mallory. Everybody loves that fan. They always comment on that. the girls' room, if you want to talk about it. I'll talk about it. The sari that you see up above the bed, I bought in India. And so I decorated the room around the colors of the sari. This room gets a lot of light, so it needed cool colors of turquoises and cool blues. And I found this beautiful sleigh bed, and my decorator helped me. She all the bedding in the whole house is custom. Every single piece. Those are silk Euros pillows, and the little seating area over there is silk as well. We used 1, 2, 3. I don't know. We used like 4 or 5 different color combinations in here. It's just a pretty little room. We call this the girls' room. And once again, I got most of the furniture at Z Gallery. Pam and I bought it. And then other pieces I found online at the time. So I always keep at least one side of the closet holds, as Mallory will attest, all of my clothes for dressing up for cruises. But one side, if you could get a shot, is at least kept for my guests, right? And we did that beautiful light up there. Let me turn these off. I lived in this room for a while they were still finishing my bedroom. I had a little somber party here last October. Seal and Lorette and Sharon were here, and we had a little dinner party, and then they spent the night, and it was really fun. So all of this would stay too. Will stay too. I bought everything for the for this house. Whatever I bought for this house, I would like to stay this house. Finally, as we go down the stairwell, this whole thing was completely replaced. It was a mess. I knew I wanted the stainless steel and the glass look, and my carpenter did once again. He put in this beautiful maple shiplap for me. That's before it was really popular. And finally, this is a Chinese sign of prosperity and wellness. First and second room tour. Okay?
Perfect.
Isn't she adorable? That's part of the gate over there. Wanted to show that because while I was building the house, my neighbors kept coming up all the time. And so I had the gate put in to help keep out the neighbors, to be honest with you. And this tree, I swear, Mallory, it has grown at least 6 feet since I've been here. This is our potting garden, and the contractors made these window boxes for me and that area because I wanted to hide the air conditioning units. And there's 3 of them, one for each floor. who put in the driveway also built, there used to be railroad ties here, and they put in this absolutely fabulous wall. Um, they were from the Mayan area of Mexico, and their forefathers were stone masons as well. And to me, this wall is a work of art. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I love being in my little egg and looking out and seeing I watched them while they made it, and they would take a little knife and just cut off a little bit, a little bit. How would you know what stone to put? It's just gorgeous. And there's lights in it as well that come on at dark. One story is right behind there is electricity, and they used to keep a little microwave there and then heat up their enchiladas or whatever they were eating during that day. They were so cute doing that. These are all cottage roses that I bought at that place where the farmers market was off of 191. Used to be a really cute little place there. It's been different because of all the construction. And those finally are knockout roses, and they have lasted since 2012. So all of the flowers have done really well. And you can see my butterfly bush over here, and my lantana, and my chickens. Just to add a little bit of humor, right? You can maybe see a white car up there. That's part of my property. I own that area up there, but the county took it over in order for large trucks to be able to turn around. But it does provide parking for 6 cars. I don't use it like I used to. But this hole, if you can get a shot, you can see all of the bamboo that that's along the wall. I constantly have to have it trimmed, but it sure is a great privacy screen, and I just think it's beautiful. When I drove up here, this house um was in foreclosure, and it was a mess, and it was falling apart, and it just crazy. I mean, we really did a lot, but this whole wooded area here just stole my heart. So come on down. We're gonna go down to the what we call the apartment. Remember before I told you that I had the stairwell taken out? The people that built the wall built these steps for me. Hi, Louie. And this isn't on. I should have turned it on, but this is a waterfall and that's a waterfall. Want me to run up and do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
This I found at a church that I used to go to, and an artist, ironwork artist, was selling his wares there, and it reminded me of my brother, so I bought it with the intent that I redid this basement with the intent that my brother and my sister-in-law, who live in Charleston, would come and stay here in the summer, but they have a place out in Fairview, so that works for them. So it leaves it open for my guests. And Mallory, tell them about how you stayed here.
So, one winter, while Marty and Bill were going to be in Florida, I needed a place to stay. My mom and my sister had both moved back to Alaska, and I was on my own. And they graciously offered to let me stay here in the basement apartment. I spent several months living here with my dog Juno.
Basically owned the place. Little girl.
This was the room we lived in. This is our bedroom. And we shared it with the dolls.
So, storybook, right?
Yep.
Americana. Gone with the Wind, Rockettes, Born to Be Wild, Mr. Monopoly, and Disneyland. And then this is what I call the events. Winter, spring, summer, fall, and Christmas. Above, you can see puzzles that I did during COVID. Remember COVID, you weren't allowed to go out, so I learned how to do puzzles. But the one at the end, behind the chicken, the story with that is that it's got a lot of black in it, and it was so difficult. And I didn't want to hurt my friend's feelings. So what I did was I sent in a picture of it and had them make a puzzle for me, and then I put the puzzle in a frame. So that's how I handled that. I ended up telling her, but that was how that happened. Mallory and I put the rest of that china in this cabinet, and this cabinet also holds this beautiful Limoges. Let me just get a picture of it because I'm hoping that we won't have to clip it, but it is Bill's, so it's up to him. But this Limoges is from France, of course, and it is over 150 years old. It's actual gold, actual 18 karat gold here, and it is absolutely stunning. And you can feel it. You can feel that it's all been hand painted. Isn't it lovely? And you're getting a shot of it. Isn't it beautiful? So it was my mother-in-law's. I love my mother-in-law dearly, but she used to put it in the dishwasher. So Bill and I saved it from the ravages of a dishwasher and brought it home with us. This is a little statue that I got at Home Goods that fit into a nook in my big, big, big house in Florida that I had an elevator and everything. That house was really something. Yeah. I keep my baskets here, and Mallory's just going to give you a quick view of Marty's Home Goods. We'll finish up in the kitchen area and then we're done.
This is the storage room. It's a little self-explanatory. It is full of all the stuff that gets moved in and out of the house seasonally. So during the winter, all the outdoor furniture gets stacked up here in the back. During the summer, all of the trees and Christmas decorations go in here. The rugs, when they get changed out, they get moved in here. That noise is a dehumidifier in the corner that keeps everything nice and dry. Spare furniture. See, these are some chairs under there. Yeah. Luggage for all of their trips. Extra art and frames. And other such storage goodies.
I didn't want to put a real oven in here because I just didn't. As it is, I've had somebody stay here. How does this work, Mallory?
You got to pull the thing down.
Oh. So once again, it's a open and close microwave. And then I think the stove is one of those ones where you have to use a special kind of potware.
No, it's just an electric stove, though it does take a long time to heat up.
Okay, I thought it was induction. And then more of my Talavera that I used to have at my house in Delray. I just used Lowe's cabinetry, and once again, that I like that quartz is this look, you know, which I used here. I just have to show you one last thing, is that Phil did put in these beautiful lights for me in here. And in order to dress up these Billy bookcases, my nephew put them in here to make them look like they're built in. And I found these gorgeous knobs, if you can focus on that. And I use them everywhere. And I think it kind of really dressed it up. Just little interior things that make a difference, don't you think? Yeah, I can really. So it's a lovely room and a lovely space, and my gosh, it holds everything. And I wouldn't be moving if Bill, hadn't bought the boat, and that kind of put us a little bit behind the 8 ball. And also, I think we're at the point in our lives where we want less to take care of, thinking about traveling a little bit differently in terms of maybe staying someplace for a period of time. Remember also, this has always been a second home for us, and we don't live here 6 months out of the year. 6 months is a long time, sometimes 7 months. So because we do like the weather in Florida, and it just Bill doesn't like it here at all. And for me, it's really hard on my sinuses, and I'm allergic to everything, so it's tough. But I'm gonna miss having Mallory come over whenever I want, and meeting friends here and cooking for them. It's just been really, really lovely. So I have to ask my higher power for help and my friends in saying adios to a lot of my treasures, and passing them on and letting somebody else enjoy them for a period of time, right? So thank you, Mallory, for taking this video And that's really the end of the tour, right?
Yep.
All right.